If you have a subtraction sign preceding a set of parentheses, then you must rewrite the problem as an addition problem. So basically we are going to add the opposite. So here's what you need to know. Anytime you see subtraction, there are two ways you might have done it, but one way was you might have done it as KCC, keep, change, change. We keep this first binomial the same, 2x minus 6, that doesn't change. We change subtraction to addition, and you change the sign of every part of that second polynomial. So 3x squared becomes negative 3x squared, 2x becomes negative 2x, and minus 6 becomes the opposite, plus 6. This is the important thing. You must change the sign of every term to its opposite sign inside the parentheses that follows the subtraction sign. Okay, so that gets us to the second way that you might have done this. What you may have done in the past is, when you saw a subtraction problem, what you would do is treat it like you are distributing the negative. Negative 3x squared, negative times 2x is negative 2x, and a negative times a negative 6 is plus 6. And then you just combine like terms. So it's up to you whether you want to think of it as KCC and rewrite it this way, or whether you just want to think of it as distributing a negative. But either way, you have to recognize when a problem starts out with subtraction between the parentheses. Okay, so let's take a look at the problem below. We're going to use the process outlined above, and again, you can do it either way. We're going to start with KCC, keep, change, change, which means we're going to keep the first one exactly the same, 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. We're going to change our subtraction problem to an addition problem, which means if I just drop the parentheses and just keep listing the terms, I'll naturally be able to combine them in the last step. So whether I say I'm changing every part of the second polynomial, changing every term, or whether I say I'm distributing the negative to each part, it's going to end exactly the same way. 5x squared becomes its opposite, negative 5x squared. Positive x becomes the opposite, negative x. And minus 5 becomes the opposite, plus 5. Okay, so either way, I changed every term of the second polynomial. Everything that came after the subtraction sign became its opposite. Now we're just back to the shopping list, right? That grocery list where we could combine any items that are the same, 3x squared and negative 5x squared. You have to remember that the sign of the number's in front, so we're really adding 3 plus negative 5, which is negative 2. The item, bananas, apples, gallon of milk, doesn't change, so x squared doesn't change. Okay, next we have negative 7x and negative x. When there is no number in the front, we understand it's a 1, so we're adding negative 7 plus negative 1 to make negative 8. The item, the x, does not change. And then last but not least, the numbers 4 and 5, we know add to 9, and this is how we get our answer, written as a trinomial, a term that has 3 parts to it.